Okay, so welcome everyone to the Lion's Den in Prince George, British Columbia. This is General Hand Grenade. We finished our first turn of the morning on day 3, officially day 2, but we started early on Friday night. So, you see what's going on here? The Japanese, what the hell? The Aussies, they're nice to everybody. Everybody, well, except for the Aborigines. They're not, well, they're nice to them too.
We are fighting for.
The Japanese are fighting for the Aborigines. Anyway, they destroyed the Anzac Navy. What a bunch of bastards. So, that they come from where the American fleet is there in the Carolines. So the American fleet came back to the Carolines and they're just daring them now, right? Like they got 2 carriers now and a bunch of shit. So it's like, let's go. And then these guys up here, just beat, again, like yesterday, just beating the hell out of each other. Big fight going on. The Russians took this out. Friendly fire, still rolling out, lights out. So if that doesn't change, he's going to win this game, I tell you. Like, he's just rolling like you wouldn't believe. Over here, the British fleet has consolidated down here outside of Aden, and they've got a couple of planes in Aden as well, right? But the biggest thing probably that's happened this round has happened over here. Let's just move this up. So if you remember from the last video there was lots of British boats, there's still British boats here, and lots of American boats here. But now the American boats have moved up to Normandy and they've taken that out. The British boats have attacked Spain, which has turned all the Germans into Spanish. And the British came in here to block the Italians from coming out and doing any damage, but they rolled really well and they took out, like it was a small British Navy, it was just meant to disrupt them, but they took it out a little easier than we would have liked, and that's why we don't like moose, and you probably end up walking back to Alberta. Watch out for those grizzlies, going through the mountains. Yeah. And but like up here though, this is this is what the Americans were angling for, was getting lots of landings up here. So they've already put down 4 tanks and 4 dudes. There's lots of guys in Paris though, but the thing is the Russians are putting a lot of pressure on that eastern front. So I expect these guys to all die here. And he's attacking him right now, but I'm hoping to take lots off him and then hit him again and hit him again and hit him again, right? And if the Russians keep hitting him, then we'll wear him down. But again, the game's almost over though. Plus the Americans have landed up here, so they've got 8 here, 8 here, and 8 back in the home country that can reach to here, right? So so that's cool. Eastern Front. Did anything happen on the Eastern Front today? Did you guys fight?
We moved forward.
I don't remember a big battle.
Yeah, we had a bit of a battle there.
Oh, okay. Just a little battle then.
Yeah.
And then
Is that card right there?
Yeah, he's got these
oh,
guys
yeah,
there.
that right. You guys did battle there. That's right. But I think there was a little bit bigger battle that he had against the Japanese. So we're liking that. We like that. Oh, and he's going after Greece down there. Look at him. You're just a going concern, aren't you? You're just a going concern, aren't you? Okay, so that's where we are. We're going to get on with it. We are going into, what is it, July of 1943. So here we go. Okay, so it's been hours since I made a video, so I don't remember the last thing I told you. I think I did tell you that we were going to fight here, or we did fight here. Anyway, long story short, the Japanese did win this fight here. But what did they have? I think they had 2 carriers.
2 loaded carriers and 2 heavy cruisers left.
And 2 heavy cruisers.
And
so then the Anzac went after him with 2 subs and managed to get a cruiser off him. And then the Americans went after him with 2 subs, and they got a carrier, which killed 2 tactical bombers as well. So it, like long story short, if I'd have won that battle, it probably would have ended up better, but it didn't end up too bad, right? Like it was a fairly good saw for both sides. What it did do is get rid of a lot of the units that were on the board. So let's just take a look over here. Doing pretty good though, Pillbox there. He's this is the first time he played Japan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, first time he's played Japan. Japan's one of the most difficult ones to play, with all the naval play, and he's done really well. But we've let him do that though, because you know, like if you don't, then he starts to cry and
Aw, you said you weren't going to tell anybody.
the socks stay on. Anyway, so but we'll see what happens in the end though, because it's in 1944 now, and anything can happen, right? Like this is where people start doing crazy shit, right? So we'll see whose people's crazy shit is the worst, and we'll see if that crazy shit visits itself on Japan. Now, if you remember, Italy went to war, and where the hell did the Italians go?
They went to war, remember?
Anyway, so yeah, that was
War, aka death.
their navy lasted, I think, what, 2 turns, and then the British tracked them down, and like they took Egypt, and British took it back, and they squashed them with 2 navies and an air force. So you look here, this is what the British have left. I think they lost 2 boats. No, they only lost 1 boat, and then they damaged these 3, the entire Italian navy. So they diced them pretty good. That was nice. We liked that. We had a stamp of approval on that. But so that's what's going on down in the southern hemisphere here. When we look over here, there's quite the buildup in China and in South Asia there. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see if how that plays out. And America keeps coming across the water. Now they've got 8 attack transports here for the first time, because I happened to double up. Anyway, this task force marker here, they have 16 units in here, the Americans do. And the British have, geez, I don't know, probably at least that many as well. And the Germans just don't have nearly that many here. But, you know, like we're getting really late in the game here, right? So even if they do bust into France there, they're not going to get very far, I don't think. But we'll see. Like, who knows? We might just go around them. Go have some Danish bacon. We'll see. He did build 5 subs, though. He's probably thinking we didn't notice that, but we know how squirrely he is, so we didn't tell him that we knew, and he's going to try to surprise us, and we're not going to be surprised. Yeah. Anyway, so Eastern Front. These guys have just been fighting it out. It has not stopped. There's seems like advanced mechs are the favorite unit in the game here, especially on the Eastern Front. Who can build the most mechanized, advanced mechanized is going to win, I think. I don't know though. Like you can see the Russians have pushed in and taken almost all of Poland now.
There's the battle that's about to happen right now, if you wanted to film.
Okay, well, yeah. So where is that battle?
In Poland there?
Poland.
West Poland, yeah.
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
So there's a battle about...
Guard is. Wait, where this?
Oh, that guy, okay.
Yeah.
So there's a battle about to happen right here, and that could be very pivotal. Who's
Germans are attacking.
Oh yeah, the Germans got lots of shit there. Oh, but there's lots of mechs too for the Russians.
Anything else?
Yeah, so I mean, if somebody wins that battle big time, then that could decide the Eastern Front there. Although you look at how many, these are advanced mechs over here, right? So he's got tons of advanced mechs, and Germany have got their hands full on the other side, right? So that's a going concern for them. We got to have a talk here now that we're getting right at the end of the game. We are allowed to declare war on Russia. We haven't yet, but we're not sure if we are going to. We're going to have to look at the points and everything, and if that's the case, then we might have to do something there. Otherwise, the Russians are going to run away with this game, right? It's easy for them to win the game if you ignore them, because everything is right near their home country. So we may have to. Is he looking? He's not around.
Outside.
He's outside. Okay, yeah. We may have to attack him.
We might, yeah.
Yeah, right, buddy? No, we're not doing anything.
Yeah, Japan. We're gonna text Japan. Don't worry.
Yeah, Japan. Japan's going to get it, yeah. And the fight's going on over here. The CCP are getting
that 'cause
smaller
you're
and
here.
smaller. These are CCP as well. But Japan's hunting them down, but they haven't caught them yet. Anyway, so this is the battle that's about to happen over here. The Germans are attacking. So they're in the foreground, oops, and the Russians are in the background. So these are Katyushas and advanced mechs. And we got advanced mechs and infantry and some tanks and a bunch of Air Force there. So that's going to be interesting. And I think that's it. I think we've been through the whole board. So we'll come back later. All right, so we're going to call it quits now. We just finished January of 1945. We had a roll for variable end the last 2 rounds. We had an 8 last round and we needed a 2. We had a 9 this round and we needed a 3. So the game is going to keep going tomorrow. Let's talk about what's going on here then. So we're just where everybody's looking at their points now, right? So the British came up here and took these 2 places to take, that would be 3 points off of the Russians, right? Because there's a nice free port and there's 2 territories that are worth money, right? They also went over here to Siam. Because like Japan is the big one right now. We just took a quick look at the points, and Japan was ahead, or sorry, the Axis were ahead due to the strength of Japan, and so we're going to have to do something about that to knock them down if we're going to have a chance to win ourselves. And what else is going on here? Let's look around here. The Americans continue to hit Europe, and they've actually made some headway. Like it's, they've actually got some good headway there. So what have they got? 7 infantry and 3 advanced mechs right here. Plus they've got 12 units in behind there, right? So that's pretty good. But the difference between now and before is before they had tons of stuff in here, right, to hit us back. And this turn they don't have tons of stuff. Plus the last turn when I went in there, he scrambled when I attacked him, and he lost 3 fighters. So that was huge for us because he was just overwhelming amount of fighters for us to try to get in there, and that was good for us. But we kind of concentrated on the Russians the last turn, taking their points down, like I showed you down south there, right? But we also have to worry about the other guys. Now, Germany is not, they've only got a few points, right? Because the Russians have been so strong this game. Friendly Fire has played just a heck of a game, right? Actually, everybody has. All 5 guys on this table have played really, really well. It's been one of the best played games I've ever been involved in, where there wasn't one person who was having a terrible game. Everybody's had a good game. There's been not that many mistakes, and it's just been back and forth and back and forth. And when I say back and forth, that's going 3 ways, not just 2, right? So that's pretty cool. Let's take a look at the Eastern Front from the other end over here. Give you a little bit more perspective. So you can see from the Russians' perspective, they're moving in on the Germans. Now, the Russians could win this game. We didn't actually add the Russians up because I finished my turn and then I rolled the dice and I think we stopped talking. And so we don't have a count now for the Russians, but you can see like here's 3 points here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8. 8 points minus 3 or 4. So yeah, they're all three of us have got points in the teams. I think it's pretty close, but I think that the Axis are slightly ahead right now. So the game is still very much on the line. I think the longer it goes, the better chance the Allies are going to have. But again, the game could end on the first roll tomorrow, or the first turn that we play tomorrow. And we're going to cut the game off after Probably 2 rounds at the yeah, 2 rounds at the most tomorrow, because a couple of the guys have to travel back home again. They have to leave tomorrow afternoon. So there's going to be two turns at the most. It'll either be 1 or 2 turns tomorrow. We'll find out. We're going to start early tomorrow and see what we get through. Let's turn this around here, give you their perspective from this side in China. I finally just tried attacking with the KMT, but the KMT does not attack very well, right? I mean, it's not just that they don't have a lot of hitters in their lineup. They also are going into mountains and they run away, right? If you roll high numbers, so I only rolled for 1 round and got my ass kicked, and so I went running back. It's just Japan is making so much money, they can afford to put stuff in there and afford to spam the ocean, right? You can see, where is it here? Like, they've got a big force right here, right? But everything else, like we did take a few boats off them this turn. There's been quite the attrition going on in the ocean, the Pacific Ocean. Like, there's been a lot of boats that were sunk in the Pacific. As far as the capital ships go, the Japanese have 4 capital ships, and the Americans have 4. Plus they have another one on the build queue right now. So there you go. I don't know that there's much more to say. Show you down there, the Japanese put some transports down there. Looks like they might be going for Australia, but the British have moved out of India and into southern Asia. We did that on purpose to see if maybe that would divert him, like if he might just, okay, well, I better go over there and squash those guys, right? So we'll see if that worked. I don't know, we'll see. I think that's about it. It's been a long day, as they all are when we play this game. We're having a lot of fun though. And I think that's it. So we're going to wrap up tomorrow for sure, one way or another. And I hope you guys are enjoying this game. I know you're not enjoying it as much as we are, but I hope you're enjoying it some anyway. So take care, everyone. General Hand Grenade out.